All right, Algebra AB, this is Mr. Johnson, and we're going to simplify 2 times the square root of 72. There are actually a couple different ways to do this. One of them takes a little bit longer, but might be the way that you chose. Another one is a little bit quicker, and you're going to see an explanation of both of them here. So I'm going to do the long way first. First, we know 2 times the square root of 72. We're going to leave that 2 alone on the outside because that is already an integer. And we're going to break up 72 into two numbers that multiply to 72, where one of them is a perfect square. So we think 1 times 72, maybe we think then 9 times 8 would be a good choice because 9 is a perfect square. So sure, I'm going to put 2 times the square root of 9 times the square root of 8. Again, making sure to write that perfect square first because that's going to be the one that simplifies. Now I know the square root of 9 is 3, so that's really 2 times 3 times the square root of 8, giving me 6 root 8. Now a lot of people might be satisfied with this answer, but unfortunately we are not done yet. That's why this is the long way, because 8 actually breaks down even further. So I'm going to take 6 times the square root of 8 and actually simplify that now as if it was its own separate problem. Well, 8 could be written as 1 times 8, sure, but how about 4 times 2, where 4 is a perfect square? So that's 6 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. We know that the square root of 4 is exactly 2, so that becomes 6 times 2 times the square root of 2. 6 times 2 is 12, and the square root of 2 we would leave as root 2 because we can't simplify that any further. And now we are done with 12 times the square root of 2. Notice how that took kind of two full lengths of simplifying there. You might not want to have to do that every time. So the reason that this was a little bit longer is because we did not pick the largest perfect square that multiplies into 72. Now up here I did 1 times 72 and 9 times 8, but some of you might be thinking, Mr. Johnson, what about 36 times, not squiggly, times 2, where 36 is a perfect square? If we can choose the largest perfect square, it's going to save us a lot of time. So 2 root 72, the quick way, is 2 times the square root of 36 times the square root of 2. Square root of 36, obviously much bigger than the square root of 9, is going to simplify into just plain old 6, since we know that, and then the square root of 2. 2 times 6 is 12. The square root of 2 is not something I can break down any further, and I get 12 root 2. Same exact answer, but it went a lot quicker. So the lesson here is to always look for the largest perfect square and write that first, and it'll make things a little bit quicker for you. Good luck.